I've heard that there's a decent chance Mitchell Robinson is going to start over Josh Hart. The Knicks are going to start double big in Towns and Mitchell Robinson. They haven't confirmed that. They haven't unconfirmed it. There's photos leaking out of practice of Mitchell Robinson in the starters jerseys and Josh Hart in the bench jerseys. Kind of like this for the Knicks. I think it is. It worked in the playoffs when Mitchell Robinson rebounded everything and gave them some rim protection that Cat can't give them. I think it's their best shot at having a championship-worthy defense, as long as they don't overwork Mitchell Robinson and they have the depth to not do that. But I like seeing what the double big lineup looks like. The risk for Cat is it's something he's done before. He's going to have to guard power forwards and wings a lot of the times, and he's actually okay one-on-one. Like he guarded Durant in the playoffs with the Wolves, and he did that well. When he starts to have to move around and help and communicate, it can get a little dicey. The Knicks toyed against the Pacers when they went double big with putting Cat on Siakam, with putting Cat on Miles Turner and inverting the matchups and putting Mitchell Robinson on Siakam. I just don't want Cat on the main guy setting picks for the other team. You can attack him no matter where he is, have his guy screen no matter what, but like I just would like him off the main screen setter, even if he's like, you know, a shooting five or whatever. And I think it's a good pathway to like offensive innovation for them. It's going to force them to innovate a little bit. You don't want Cat to be just a spot up guy around Mitchell Robinson screening and diving, turn him into a handoff hub, you know, run pick and roll on one side, then kick it and run pick and roll with Cat on the other side. They're going to get good offensive rebounding. I like it. I think it's worth trying. I think it makes the Knicks ceiling higher.
So there's been a lot of chatter the past couple of days about who the Knicks are going to use as their fifth starter. We've talked about Deuce. We've talked about Hart, Mitch. But it appears Mike Brown has all but made his decision. Mike Brown has spoken about rim protection and size. And Cat is honestly probably better at the 4 versus than at the 5. Because if you're going to use Cat at the 5, you've got to go 5 out. So to that point, you'd want to have Deuce to space the floor. But the Knicks were using Hart. It just never really made sense to begin with. And it's easy to see why the Knicks were so exposed in the playoffs with certain lineups. Like that lineup was, even in the regular season, the starting 5 of OG, Hart, Bridges, Brunson, and Cat, I think it was like 3.3 points positive. Like that's just not going to get it done. You're not winning a championship with a starting 5 like that. But Mitch, when he's healthy, you know, he's easily one of the most impactful players on the team. You could argue he's even the second most impactful player next to Brunson because of those rebounds, because of those screens, blocking shots. Teams were intentionally fouling Mitchell Robinson to get him out of the game. Like literally Joe Mazzulla talked about, we were hacking him because we wanted him to come out of the game. There's really just no one else on the Knicks outside of Brunson that has like that type of impact where it's like you want to get them out of the game. And Cat was at his best without Brunson because the defense. So the Knicks have to balance out their offense and their defense. And the best way to do that is without question going to Mitch. If they go to Deuce, he doesn't have enough size, honestly, probably to get the Knicks to where they want to go. So the alternative to that is to go to Mitch. Of course, there's going to be some concerns with them, but the Knicks are going to have all of the preseason, all of the regular season to figure that out. Whereas in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, they decided to go to Mitch next to Cat, and they didn't have enough reps. I mean, I get at the end of games they were using them together, but it just wasn't enough time. You're not beating a team like the Indiana Pacers if you're not prepared, if you don't have any depth, and if you have tired legs, right? So in terms of what the rotation is going to look like with Mitch starting, well, let's talk about it, man. Let's come up with it. I'm going to go to my notes app. So at the 1, Brunson. At the 2, McHale. 3 is going to be OG. The 4 is going to be Cat. At the 5 is going to be Mitchell Robinson. 6 man, Jordan Clarkson. I guess I should have drank a coffee before this because I completely forgot to put Josh Hart on the bench. It's embarrassing as a Knicks creator. That honestly changes everything. How does this even work? Like, his Clarkson, Deuce, and Brogdon are obviously all playing, and then Hart. That makes... Oh, yeah, Hart could play the 4, and then Yabusele at the 5. I get... Hart kind of has to play at the 4, for being real. All right, so now it's Brogdon, Deuce, Clarkson, Hart, and Yabusele. That leaves Hukporti and Shamet out of the rotation, which is a little bit disappointing. That's why when Mike Brown was like, we're going to play 9 to 10 guys, a lot of Knicks fans were super, super hyped. I'd rather the Knicks play more than that. Because, like, what about... Well, Dottie is probably the odd man out from what we're being told. The Athletic reported that Dottie, like, clearly has the best trade value between him and Kolek because he's younger and he's 6'7". Kolek's like 6 foot. Or actually, I think Kolek's like 6'2", but So now all of a sudden, Shamit, who the Knicks are going to bring back, and because they're bringing him back, they're going to move on from Dadier, and Shamit's not even going to be playing every night. Hukporti, you'd think with two big starting is going to come out here and get good minutes. Not exactly, because Hart is going to play the 4, and then Yabusele at the 5, and then you got Clarkson, Deuce, and Brogdon. Like all 5 of those guys obviously are playing. Like literally, there's no debating it. All 5 of them will play. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. It makes me wonder. It's like why even kind of keep like a Tyler Kolek on the roster if he has no chance of playing unless it's a blowout. Doesn't really make sense. Like I'd rather to that point him just be in the G League playing every day and every night and developing. So there's concerns with Mitch in the sense of obviously the free throw shooting. I mean he can't shoot, so he's not gonna be able to space the floor. And then the bench depth is just confusing because there's no size. Like Yabusele, I don't. How tall is Yabusele? He's probably. I don't even think he's 6'10". Gershon Yabusele. Yabusele is 6'8". Yeah. So the Knicks are gonna play a Hart who's 6'4" at the 4, and Yabusele who's 6'8" in the front court. I don't know how I feel about that. Let me know how you guys think though. 7th man is gonna be Deuce. 8th man is Yabusele. Actually, Yabusele is probably gonna have to. We'll talk about where they're gonna play, but so we'll go with Porty because now with Mitch starting, they're gonna need a big off the bench, unless they plan on playing either Mitch or Cat the whole game. But I highly doubt that. Shamit certainly. Also Malcolm Brogdon. Brogdon. Oh my God, it's auto correction. It's okay, cool. I mean, if we're being like actually like realistic, Jordan Clarkson is the 6th man, the Deuce is the 7th. 8th is gonna be Yabusele. 9th is gonna be Brogdon. And then the 10th man would be Hukporti, and then 11th man would be Shamit. I think that's exactly how the Knicks are gonna do the rotation. If we're going off of positions, that's where things kind of get a little bit tricky. So they'd have to go at the 1, Brogdon. The 2 would be Deuce. The 3 would be Clarkson. And then Gershon. And then Hukporti. Followed by Shamit as the sort of guy, if in case they do want to expand that, or maybe they want to play a different matchup. This is kind of my thing with Landry Shamit is if you want to keep Shamit and Brogdon, then you have to trade either Tyler Kolek, Hakom Daddy, or Deuce McBride. But where would you play Shamit? Because you've got Brogdon, Deuce, and Clarkson. There's no room for Shamit. And then you want size, so Yabusele, of course, they paid, so he's going to play, and he's good. And then Hukporti. This is a large reason why I actually was for starting Deuce, because if... Oh, wait, I forgot about Josh Hart, Jesus.